25 definition of terms. First, criminal behavior. It is the product of a systematic process that involves complex interaction between individual, societal, and ecological factors over the course of our lives. Next, ecological factors. It involves interaction between people and their activities in a physical environment. Next, societal or macro level factors. It deals with the systematic interaction between social groups, which describe the way society is structured. Next, motivation or opportunity. Individuals actually commit the crime. Individual factors always intervenes between any description of cause of a crime. Next, motivation. Motivation is outcome of a process in which a goal is formulated, costs and benefits are assessed, and internal cons constraints on behavior are applied. Next, spiritual explanation. The spiritual explanation for crime is primarily attached into a religious belief and superstition, and there is a strong adherence with the divine intervention. Next, natural explanation. Natural explanation for crime were rooted in a people or idea about the nature or reality in a physical world based on observation of a nature, but were not scientific. Next, classical theory. This theory posits that human behavior are rational and assume that the people have the ability to choose right from wrong. Next, utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is the doctrine that the purpose of all action should bring about the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. Next, strength of a classical theory. It is considered both juvenile in insane people as unable to commit crime since they cannot rationally calculate the outcome of their actions. Next, deterrence theory. This theory highlights that an individual choose to commit or not to commit a crime is influenced by the fear of a punishment. Next, deterrence. Deterrence is the act of preventing a criminal act before it occurs through the threat of a punishment and sanctions. Next, retribution. It is the notion that wrongdoer should be forced to pay back or compensate for his or her criminal acts. Next, specific deterrence. This is aimed at the wrongdoer and tries to deter him from a crime by punishing him. Next, general deterrence. This is aimed at everyone. It deters everyone from a crime by punishing the criminal and thus establishing an example. Next is the neoclassical theory. This theory is considered age, gender, and social class of perpetrators. Next, the physiognomy. According to John Lavater, a physiognomy state that the shape of the skull and some facial features had an impact on human behavior and actions. Next, positivist theory. Positivism emphasizes the technique and observation, the comparative method, and experimentation in the development of knowledge concerning human behavior and the nature of society. Next, the biological theory. This explain of a crime assume that some people are born criminal who are psychologically distinct from non-criminals. Next, born or instinctive criminal, one who carries from birth through unfortunate heredity from his ancestors and reduced resistance to criminal stimuli and also an evident and developed tendency to crime. Next, insane criminal, one who affected by a clinically identified mental disease or by a neuropsychopathic condition which group him with the mentally disease. Next, passional criminal, one who in two varieties the criminal through passion or through emotion, represent a type at the opposite pole from the criminal due to cognition tendency. Next, occasional criminal, one who constitute the majority of a lawbreaker and is the product of family and social milieu more than of abnormal personal mental condition. Last, habitual criminal, the criminal by acquired habit who is mostly a product of a social environment in which due to the abandonment by his family, lack of education, poverty, bad companions, already in his childhood begins as an occasional offender. That's all.